Yo, what's up? What's up? How's everyone doing out there? Welcome back to From the Block podcast. Been a little busy, doing some other little business, but besides that, we're back, man. We're back with another little video, real quick. And on this one, I'm gonna take you guys to my neighborhood, and I'm gonna explain to you guys as much as I can, of what we used to do back in the 90s in my neighborhood. I don't know how this system came into place, but when I started gang banging and when I started doing things for my hood, this shit was already there. That word tacateros has been around for as far back as I can remember. I don't really know what it means in Spanish, but what I do know is that we used to use that word to distinguish these corner dealers that we used to have in our neighborhood. Right here in this corner, you see right on the right hand side, we used to have tacateros posted right here, slanging crack and coke. So in total, my neighborhood had like about 18 or 19 tacateros that we were in charge of collecting every night, and on Sunday twice. Sunday was rent night. But every night we had to make sure that they were out here hustling, they were out here serving, they were out here doing what they had to do to make money. Because at the same time, they were making their money, they were making us money. So we had to make sure they were out here in place doing what they had to do. And there was no freelancers, nobody out here selling that was supposed to be selling. We were making sure that everything was running smooth. Sometimes we would collect from them, and some of them wouldn't have the full amount. So my homie used to live around the corner, so we would, drive it real quick around the corner and chill for a bit, an hour or two, and then hit the streets again, looking for these guys and, collect the rest. Some of them only gave us 10, 20, 60%, or whatever the case was. You would write their names down with the amount that they gave, and then come back and finish off and get the rest. And most of the nights, they wouldn't really just stay at the corner. Some of them would stay there, and some of them would be walking around. Nobody wanted to get busted. But at the same time, at that time, the crash unit had just got at Rampart got dismantled, so there was really no heat as much as there used to be. So back in the days, the tacateros would be walking around through here, this little neighborhood, on the low. They would be sitting on the steps right there before they were gated, sitting there, waiting for customers, looking for their customers, or whatever the case was. They will see their customers, or they will see customers here. They will whistle or whatever. They don't get their attention, whatever the case was, and walk up to them, and whatever the fuck, sell to them or whatever the case was. Serve them up. Back in the days, we used to have this shit called double ups. I don't know if you guys know what that shit is, but basically, is you buy a dime, you get a 20, buy a 20, get a 40, buy a 40, get a 80. Double ups. We used to sell flats. We used to get them at a wholesale price, mayorista, and they were flats. They were flats. They were squared. They were flats, and you would pay $2 for each little square and sell them for 10. So didn't really hurt as much if you would give double ups because you were getting them for like a really low cost price. So that's the game. That was the game, man. And then they would be walking around through here, and we would be driving around, making sure they were all out here, making sure they were serving, and whatever the case was, we were active gang banging too, so we were tagging and shooting and all that shit that comes with that shit, man. In them days, um, a lot of my a lot of my homies from my clique were very active. I mean, we were the only ones, and we were all active. This what we wanted to do. This is what we were out here doing, and we were all active, man. Everybody was carrying. Everybody was doing something. Everybody was trying to get their names, respected in the hood or whatever that case was. So we were all trying to do something in our minds. That's what we thought we were trying to, we were doing, we were trying to come up, we were doing something. But the truth is that we were all going down the wrong path, I guess you could say. But you live and you learn. When you're young, you're young. So, right now I'm heading towards the main street. Right now, you're gonna see on the main street. Back in the 90s, we used to have these two bars. These two bars, one of them was called Lupitas, one of them was called Kiko's. And back then, these two bars were pretty active, man. If people who know these bars, they will know they were pretty active. We were out here, and these two bars were, they only had one way in and one way out, dude. No windows, and it was pretty dangerous. We used to get into shootouts and all kinds of shit. And nobody was 21, nobody was 20, nobody was even 19 yet, and we were in the bars. Right here, my left hand side, right here, you're gonna see Lupitas. It was very active. We were always shooting on the wall. We were always riding and then shooting everywhere because this was like the main heart, the main place where we used to be, our main active. And the two bars were like headquarters for our business, for the tacateros. And just so you guys know, the two bars were also being extorted. They were in the drug business as well. They were fucking selling drugs, so we were taxing them as well. At the same time, uh, we were there was a bakery right here too. It's a little tattoo spot now, but that bakery was also active. That bakery also was selling drugs. That bakery was raided, and and they were being extorted as well because everybody was in a business back then. Everybody, man. And this was the neighborhood right here. This is this is where I was at. This is how I learned how to make money, and from in my teens. Once because you gotta move on up or whatever the case is. So once I moved on and started doing my own thing, and then that took me somewhere else. I got into it. I got into the methamphetamine business and all type of shit, but that was something different compared to what I did in my teens for my gang. So that's just something that I did and experienced that I lived. I don't want, I wouldn't want anybody to fucking follow in my footsteps. And it's just an old experience, man. I'm grateful that I made it out.